Therianthropy 101, Part 2. What is Therianthropy not? So first off, Therianthropy is not shamanism. You may be familiar with the concept of animal totemism, but that has nothing to do with Therianthropy itself. This has nothing to do with animal spirit guides, or for that matter, any kind of involvement in any sort of magical tradition or religious background. This is not to say that a Therian can't be, and indeed many are, involved in various religious and magical traditions. However, it is important that you do not conflate the two, as they have nothing to do with one another. Second off, Therianthropy is a condition, not a belief. Regardless of your viewpoints on origin, Therianthropy has concrete effects on individuals who actually experience it. It's more than simply, I like wolves, therefore I am a wolf. And if you're an individual who thinks you're a Therian because of this, no, you're not. Go home. This isn't what this is about. Likewise, if you try to claim the Therian title without knowing your Theriotype, I can almost guarantee you're not. While a Therian will experience species dysmorphia long before they understand what they are, if someone comes to the Therian community without knowing what they are, that is usually going to mean either A, they've mistaken Therianthropy for shamanism, or B, they've come to the Therian community to try to be a special snowflake. In either case, they need to shove off. Third, Therianthropy is not a religion. However, Therians often use their religion in order to attempt to understand their condition, as stated in the previous video. Atheists often try to look for a psychological origin of cancer. Christian might introspect upon the idea of a soul, and some coming from Vedic religion, which is to say Hinduism, Buddhism, and the like, will tend to look towards reincarnation to find an answer. There was at one point in time a group of Therians who did try to turn their condition into a religion, called the Therian Temple. The community, however, rejected them and told them to shove off. Therianthropy itself is compatible one way or another with most modern mainstream religions, and I would recommend reading up on Wolfgang Zant's writings on the matter. Fourth, Therianthropy is not dissociative identity disorder. While it's entirely possible for an individual to have both dissociative identity disorder and Therianthropy, these two conditions have absolutely nothing to do with one another. The only time that the two might have anything to do with one another is under the theoretical condition of assuming the existence of souls, the two souls are residing in the same body. So if you're talking about headmates, you're probably not talking about Therianthropy. In fact, I can almost guarantee it. Further, while I cannot personally speak to the phenomenon of polytherians, those that I have discussed the matter with consider themselves a single individual, which is to say, no headmates, and instead bounce between multiple species, being, for instance, a cat or a dog. The usual explanation I've heard for this is based on past lives where they were one species in one life and then another in another life. Fifth, Therians are not shapeshifters. While they might wish to become, say, a wolf, the only people who believe they can are attention whores who might not even actually be Therians. Science cannot as of yet cause a transformation, and given that Therians tend to be more open to exploring things like paganism and magic, if there was a way to magic ourselves into animals, believe me, we would know. Instead, even those who believe in magic don't think it's possible. Additionally, if someone tells you something that's basically, I gain superpowers under the full moon, it's either self-confirmation bias affects natural phenomena, such as everybody's seeing better under the full moon, or they're simply full of shit. Sixth, Therianthropy and furry are not the same. The former is a condition, the latter is a fandom for people who like animals. I may explore this topic in a later video, but suffice it to say that while some, indeed many, Therians choose to become involved in roleplay and furry activities, that's not what Therianthropy is about. Seventh, Therianthropy is not a mental illness. There's a simple reason for this. Therianthropy does not qualify for the definition of a psychosis. The effects of the condition make themselves known well before the individual is aware or has decided on believing they are, say, a wolf. Psychology at this time does not have an explanation for the existence of therianthropes. Finally, Therians are not, generally speaking, attention whores. Therians do not drone on and on about inane concepts like privilege, or about how they're being oppressed. Those would be Tumblerinas who are stealing our label and pretending to be us. The reality is the vast majority of Therians are very closeted about the matter. I'm more open about it, that's because, quite frankly, I don't care what random people think of me. It's simply not worth my time. If you've seen Wolf Children, though, the battle between Ame and Yuki is a real and raging debate in Therian circles. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do, as not only is it an excellent movie, but it'll help you understand who we are. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at shifts.